Good morning. It's September 15th, Friday morning. End of the week for many people. They get the weekend off. Hope you have a good weekend. Hope you have a good day today. This morning I was in John 4 through 6. And the scripture I wanted to share on was chapter 5, verses 6 through 8. Jesus here, he's in Jerusalem. He's on his way to the temple, walking. And he goes through this area where there is a pool where lots and lots of sick people lay, waiting to get into the pool. And they thought that when an angel came down and stirred the water, the first one into the pool would be healed. So Jesus comes into this area, probably many people laying there, many sick people laying there. And it says that there was one guy there for 38 years. He'd been laying there for 38 years. Verse 6. And when Jesus saw him lying there, he knew that he had already been there a long time. He said to him, "Do you want to be healed?" And the sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up, and while I'm going, another steps down before me." And Jesus said to him, "Get up, take up your bed and walk." And at once the man was healed, and he took up his bed and he walked. So here Jesus he sees this one guy out of the whole crowd that were laying and sitting there, sick, waiting to get into the water if it was stirred. Jesus knew he'd been there for 38 years. Jesus had probably seen this man many times on his trips. Jesus was, at this time, was close to 33 years old, probably 33 years old. He'd been going to Jerusalem once every year since he was a young man. He'd probably seen this guy laying there many times. So he sees him today, and he walks up to him and he says, "Do you want to be healed?" Seems like an odd question. Who wouldn't want to be healed? But the man doesn't tell him yes or no. Instead, he gives him a reason he's not healed. He gives him what seems like an excuse. It's a good excuse, but it's an excuse. "Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool when the water is stirred, and while I'm going, another steps down before me." Jesus didn't ask him, "Why haven't you been healed?" He didn't ask him, "Why haven't you gotten into the pool when the water was stirred?" His question to the man was, "Do you want to be healed?" And the man doesn't answer. He doesn't answer yes or no. He doesn't tell Jesus whether he wants to be healed. When Jesus asks us a question, he wants us to search our hearts. He knew the answer to the question already himself. He's Jesus. But he wants us to know. Many times, we don't want to be healed. Many times, it's easier staying sick. Many times, it's more convenient. My mind thinking of thoughts that are unhealthy. For this man, people took care of him. 38 years, somebody had to bring him food. He didn't have to go to work. He had no responsibilities. His whole life was he was taken care of by others. If he was going to get healed, he was going to have to do something. He was going to have to start taking care of himself. It's interesting because Jesus just tells him, "Get up, take up your bed and walk." He gives him responsibility instantly. You stand up. Pick up that bed that you've been laying on for 38 years. And you walk. He gave him responsibility instantly. Did this man want to be healed? We will never know, because the story doesn't really tell us. Do we want to be healed? Do we want God to transform our minds? Do we want God to heal our physical bodies? Do we want God to restore us and transform us into His image? He wants us to answer those questions when He asks us. He wants us to search our hearts. He will do that in us, which is good for us and what He chooses for us. He's a good God. But He wants us to know whether we really want the transformation into the image of Him. If we really want to walk like He walked, live like He lived, love like He loved, give like He gave. Do we really want to deny ourselves, pick up our cross, and follow Him? Do we really want God to transform our lives into the image of Jesus? That's my prayer, as we would search our hearts. It's not an easy answer. Off the top of our heads, we might say, of course. But with God's help, He wants us to search our hearts. Thanks for listening to me today.